Hey, my name's Tom, also known as Rhumba Club, and my favourite instrument is the Sequential Prophet 6. My musical aesthetic draws on a lot of vintage, late 70s to mid 80s sounds, and I wanted to rework them, revitalise them, experiment with them. And as the Prophet 6 is a kind of evolution of the Prophet 5, the classic Prophet 5, it seemed the most obvious choice for me. In my track Normativity, I was trying to recreate a kind of rebellious vibe of Rod Stewart's Young Turks, and it has this really classic lead synth line in it. So what I did is I played the lead line on a smooth pad. It sounded a bit like this. And then I did the same thing on a more sort of squelchy pluck sound. And then when you put it together, it sounds like this. And what was so cool about that is that it really suited the rebellious nature of the song. And I'm using lots of sounds like that because, you know, yacht rock, which has been maligned for some time, that kind of late 70s, mid 80s vibe, is now having something of a renaissance. And I'm really glad to be able to use my Prophet 6. It absolutely milked that moment. People are really recognising that pop for the great pop that it was. It sounds a bit shallow, but the thing I love the most about the Prophet 6 is how it looks and feels. It's such an intuitive instrument. Obviously, you know, it looks beautiful and it works for my sense of taste because my house is all kind of in this teak veneer that you see here. But also, it responds really emotionally. You know, when you think of a synthesizer, you think of a sort of very sort of digital response. It responds like a guitar to the extent that it almost can take control of you if you're not careful. And I think I have that relationship with the Prophet 6 that I normally would have with a guitar. So, you know, when you see me going up the plane, you won't see me carrying my Les Paul guitar, you'll see me carrying my Prophet 6.
The Rhumba Club is waiting for me.
Whilst on the one hand, you feel like you're part of a musical lineage, you've got a sort of historical artifact beneath your hands, and it feels expensive and epic. It's also incredibly approachable, and it has the flexibility and a level of intuition that allows you to bend it to your own audio image without being intimidated by that history. So it gives you the duplicity of being once part of a bigger story, but also you're enabled to create something new. So I'm going to show you a trick that's quite unique to Rhumba Club. I've been working on a sort of concept album recently, and a lot of the sounds are kind of sourced from 70s game shows, and I've been working really hard to recreate those kind of zing sounds on my Prophet 6, and it's the perfect instrument for it. So I'll show you how I did it. So obviously you've got to put your glide right up, so you've got that portamento kind of zing. So you put that, you know, fairly near the top. You start by going down the octave, or down a couple of octaves, play your low note, put your pedal down so it can hold, or press the hold button. And then what you do is when you trigger the zing, or the upward inflection of the pitch with the top note, you ensure that you move the cutoff right to the middle, or even further, and you put your modulation right up at the same time, and it creates a kind of ping effect when you get to the top. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll play the low note, get ready to play the high note, it's going to move up, zing, there you go, there's your 70s game show sound. Thank you so much. I'm Rhumba Club. If you're interested in any of my music, please look me up on Instagram, on Rhumba Club, Spotify, on Rhumba Club, all the streaming platforms on Rhumba Club, Facebook and Rhumba Club, and of course on YouTube where you are right now, I am Rhumba Club. And thank you for Sequential for inventing the Prophet 6, because it really is such a huge part of my musical life.